Hi, what's up? Let's dive into my codebase. Today we're going to tackle different types of libs and how to enforce them. Let's dive into my codebase. The code shown in this video is part of my Angular Superbase boilerplate. Meet Influencer, a real app that I use to schedule my social media stuff, and that is shipped along with my boilerplate so you can install it locally. It has light and dark mode, it's mobile friendly, and has a bunch of other cool features. Last time we talked about the high-level architecture. Now let's talk about the different types of libs. We have data access. Data access is the type of the lib, so type-channel. Data access will only be used for data access, not for state management, not for feature logic, not for utility logic, just to fetch data. We also have feed libs. Feed libs are mostly lazy loaded libs, but can also expose smart components. After that, we have state libs, which will mainly cover state management on a global way, maybe for caching channels or caching ideas or some real-time stuff. We have types. Those types will mainly only expose stupid types. For this, these are specific to the influencer calendar, and every Superbase application has a type Superbase where all the types are basically created by Superbase itself. This is purely generated code, but if you're using HTTP and not Superbase, you can just put your types in these kind of types libs. We also have UI libs. Most of the UI libs will be in the shared because there's where our design system lives, but here for instance we have a channel picker that we want to use throughout our influencer scope. Let's open this right here. We can see that the UI channel picker has a barrel file that only exposes a channel picker UI component. Then we also have a util lib, and that util lib will only contain pure functions. Now, how do we give a type to a specific project? We will see that every project has a project.json file, and that has a property tags. Here we can add the type data access. In the scope, influencer. Every lib that we have inside of this directory, inside of the scope, has two tags, a type and a scope. Now the cool thing is we can create linting rules to make sure that data access would never be able to import from UI. State would also not be able to import from UI. Util should never be able to import from data access, and so on. I created this type matrix from you. Left can import from top, so feed can import from feed, data access, UI, type, util, state, and guard. Data access can not import from feed. Data access can import from data access, but not from UI. It also can import from type, util, but not from state and guard. UI cannot import from feed data access, but it can import from other UI libs. It could contain types, or it could use types. It could use utilities, but not state and not guard. Type can not import from anything except type. Util cannot import from anything except util and type, and state can import from data access, type, util, and state. Guard can import from data access, but not from UI. It can import from type, util, but not from state. Again, it can import from guard. It's not a part of the boilerplate yet, but I believe guard should have its own type. So let's try if we can make this break. Let's say in here that I want to, let's say the channel picker UI components. Awesome. We have a nice linting rule which enforces encapsulation and makes sure that we cannot just import whatever we want. Although it is possible to use an NX generator to create a lib and pass the tags like this, I also created a custom generator. Simplified dev kit. It's called lib. I want to create a foo library, which is of type data access, and the scope is influencer. Awesome. It has created that in the right directory, so in the right scope, and the data access is the correct type. So let's have a look at what we just created. Let's go to the libs, data access foo, and if we look at the project.json file, let's close this up right here. we could see that the tags are set correctly. In a monorepo or big workspace, you're constantly refactoring, which means you have to move libraries around, rename them, putting in a different scope, extract them to a different scope, giving it a new type of lib, and so on. For that, NX has a move generator. It's super awesome to use this move generator to rename stuff or move stuff around, but most of the time you just want to refactor it to a new type or new scope. For that, I've created a refactor lib generator. I will explain it in one of my later videos, but let's just showcase it. If we execute the help, we can see that we need a project, a scope, and a type. Let's rename this influencer data access foo. We want to rename it to influencer feed foo, which has to change data access, has to change the directory structure here, and has to change the type of the tag. Let's do this by calling npx nx generate simplified devkit refactor lib, and the project name is influencer data access foo. The scope will remain influencer, and the type has to be feed. Awesome. It has created it in the right directory. It has removed stuff. So let's go over here. We have feed foo now. The directory structure is correct. The renaming is correct. And it has set the tags to type feed. Now let's say we don't want to update the type, but we want to update the scope. Then we could say, let's use influencer whatever, and the type has to be UI. Of course, there is a built-in mechanism that will check if the project still exists, so it has to be influencer feed foo. Awesome. Again, it got updated, and now we will have the influencer whatever here with UI foo, where the project JSON is completely set up like we want to. And if we go to our tsconfig base JSON and we look for foo, we will see that everything is wired correctly here as well. Thank you for listening to this video. Next time I will talk about creating these custom generators with NX and make sure everything will just be done for you. If you don't want to lose time and start building now, you can have this application running locally in 10 minutes and start building your dream. I have done all the hard work for you. Check it out at simplified.courses/angular-boilerplate.